Well, how's it going, Kingsman? Welcome back to another NTW3 battle. Today, we are doing a blast from the past. We are back looking at another tournament battle from the old tournament that has already been complete. I want to make sure I didn't miss any really good replays, and this one actually looks like an amazing replay. Not only that, but I feel like it's from the not so common cores. So this is from the Finland invasion of Finland, 1809 to 1808 to 1809. I apologize. This is between the NR.4 and the Rhienbund clan. This will be the Russians with, I believe, some Denmark army thrown in there versus the Swedish with a UK, I believe, army thrown in there. Now, of course, we can go over the actual core names. I'm going to butcher probably half of them, but I will do my best. I believe the map is Lapua, I believe. A Finnish map, and the cores for the NR.4 are going to be, of course, you have the 4-point Denmark, Hessen Kessel, you have a 6-point Kamensky, a 10-point Buxhowden, and where's the other one? Way in the back here, you have a 8-point. Who is this? Kolnev, something like that. 8-pointer. On the Rhienbund side, you're gonna have a 9-point Aldernkreuz, a 8-point Karl von Dublin. Definitely know I'm not pronouncing that one correctly. You have a Klingspor 7-point, and then of course you have the 4-point Moore, the British helping back the Swedish armies here. And of course, as always, I always put the names up with the points because I know I'm going to butcher them. Just so you know, you're like, what did Kingston just say? Like, what did he say? And then like, oh, okay, that's what he was trying to say. Well, at least, you know, at least I'm putting it up on the screen so that even if I butcher it, you still can see the name. Anyway, let's get on to the more important stuff. Not hearing me fail at names, but the battle. Now, we have the 10-pointer for Russia pushing up here. This map is kind of, the deployments return sideways compared to what we normally see. We normally see a deployment here facing against the town and against the river. This makes for a more interesting fight here. The main bulk of the Russian force is here on the left. Like I said, you got the 6-pointer, the 4-pointer, and then the 8-pointer all here on the left, with just the 10-pointer pushing on our right flank here. Obviously, there are at least 2 armies here, at least the 4-point UK plus the Swedish army way over here on the flank. They look like they are definitely falling back. You can see them pulling back towards probably the bulk of their army. Another Swedish army at least in the town, and the last one has yet to be revealed. Actually, no, 2 armies here. So actually, the coalition is what I'm going to call the Swedish side, just because they have the UK with them. They are split up a lot more than the Russian alliances. The Russians have, of course, one army here who could easily face off against a 4-pointer plus, you know, whatever. Even if it was a 9-pointer, they have the mass to deal with it, while 4 of the Russian Denmark armies could focus down this town. I guess we'll see if that's their plan, but that's kind of what it looks like it's panning out to be so far. And it looks like they are starting to all push in that direction. Of course, you don't want to leave your 10-pointer high and dry by themselves, but as of right now, they aren't in any real danger for the moment. It does look like Sweden trying to scare off some Gassaris. And like I said, they still are pushing. Now, they have a lot of infantry in this army, not as much cavalry. They do have some very good lancers. I believe those are some guard lancers. I don't see, do they have any other cavalry? Yeah, they do. They have some dragoons in the back, artillery setting up the back, horse artillery as well, skirmishers, kind of the light contingent of their army pushing up in front as they could see a little further and move quicker and shoot better. A bit more of a force to be reckoned with. Now they are scouting this tree line. You do not want to walk into an ambush. Imagine if Sweden had troops all along this tree line just waiting for them to push too far and then surround them. You saw some British troops right here, so there's obviously troops all around them. And Sweden could be rushing up the road to meet them, ignoring the bulk of the Russians' corps pushing in the other direction. Now we do have a pointer. He is pushing more center, probably just so he can easily adjust to the left or right or stay center depending on what you see the enemy's doing. A nice bunch of skirmishers up here, cavalry protecting them. It's like Russia trying to scare the Swedish cavalry off. Infantry from Sweden has formed up. Very, very nice. Okay, there was troops here. You can see Sweden being pushed back. I'm assuming Russia was giving some volleys with their light infantry. Having a flanking guard, not a bad idea, honestly, at all. It's probably for the best to ensure your flanks are secured at a certain point. Keeping the cavalry back, I like that stance. They aren't being too crazy with pushing. They don't have a lot of cavalry to save or to throw away, so they're going to keep it to defend their artillery piece. Still want to watch out for cavalry, maybe going to swing around on their back, especially with his gun, the 6-pounders. 4 guns, that is a lot of artillery. I mean, as I don't see a lot of guns in any of these corps. You do have some horse artillery and some regular 12-pounders as well. And more, what is that, 20-pounder? Oh, howitzers pushing up as well. And it does look like Denmark has pushed up with the 6-pointer, facing off the Swedish so far in the town. Not doing a whole lot yet, though. Maybe waiting until everybody's in position. Ooh, I'm seeing some blue surrounding this Buxhowden. Here we go. Russia engaging some flanking Swedish, getting a nice volley. I don't know if Sweden even notices that they are being engaged. And this light infantry is definitely going to get some nice shots off. He has dragoons moving up maybe to support. Maybe they can break this flanking Swedish army. Oh, they're going to break pretty quick. Yep. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Getting rid of that flanking force here. Now, you can see, look at this. They are totally ignoring these armies here. Who is this? This is a 10-pointer? Who's playing the 10-point? Oh, okay. All right, well, now I know. I think I know which of the players is playing this guy. I'm seeing some patterns here. Skirmishers up in front, infantry gonna mobilize. Feels like a Matt Bob move. I think he's in this battle. Yeah, just ignoring the enemy and just pushing straight in for the Swedish flank, and you will have another Russian player pushing in here. They could get a nice isolation in defeating in detail this flank, or even the center, I guess you could consider it, of the Swedish army, while the rest of these guys kind of pin down the other Swedish line so they can't reinforce very easily. Now I'm expecting this to be a bit of a melee from Russia. I'm expecting that at this point. And if Sweden knows what's good for it, they will maybe push back. We'll see here. Oh, do we have Cav versus Cav? Hussari versus Hussars. Or Hussar versus Hussars. Russia looking to be worse for wear here. Oh, artillery's in danger. Canister, though, actually may have saved this artillery piece. They're wavering. Will they stay? Oh, no, they break. All right, Russia's fomenting a very very aggressive push here with Denmark supporting them. They're going straight into the town against Sweden. I guess we'll see how that plays out. That's rough fighting against a town or against a building. You don't really want to do that. Here we go, though. Russia pushing through. Those musketeers pushing. Let's see if Sweden still tries to stand their ground. I still think it's ill-advised. Now, they do have more. Now, if Moore is smart about this, they'll recognize they have to immediately put pressure on this Russian flank. Artillery set up in a nice position to defend, but Moore can't stand idly by. I see his troops just kind of sitting here. He needs to go straight in. Support Sweden. Sweden is about to get mauled. I suspect they're about to get mauled in this grove. And he's trying to pull back, but maybe a little too late here.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack!
Cavalry charging against the Swedish guns. You have Russia going in for melee in the town. Unfortunately, Russia does get thrown back. You gotta watch out for the Swedish flanking around the river as well. See, they're not pushing. I'm really surprised. I mean, I guess maybe they are pushing. They have to push. They have to. They cannot afford to sit by and let their allies take on the Russians by themselves, but he is pushing. That's encouraging. That's gonna, honestly, Russia's gonna have to play their cards right. They're probably just gonna keep, I guess, his artillery set up. He may set up a small screen here, scare off the 4-pointer while pushing in still against the Swedish and keeping them on their toes, as it were. Oh man, what is happening here? Russia's getting kind of hit pretty hard. I would pull back if I was Russia right now. There's a whole Swedish flank pushing across the river. Ill-advised to try to keep going in when your flank is exposed. Form a square. They do. Sweden's trying to close in. Yep, he's pulling back. Perfect. He's going to pull back, reform, deal with that flank. At the same time, we have Russia still. He hasn't gotten into melee yet. But he is pushing very hard still, causing some breakage in the Swedish line. This artillery now is going to be firing, is going to put some pressure on Moore. Have a cavalry engagement in the center. Oh, horse artillery. Not gonna, unfortunately, get a shot off. Will give the opportunity for them to back charge the Swedish cavalry. And Sweden may lose their cav. Definitely a loss here. Skirmishers now rushing forward. More Swedish cavalry is being thrown to stop the gap in the Swedish line being formed, but Russia's going in for a melee, charging some squares. Cavalry going to support that melee, countering the Swedish cav. Now let's see how this flank is going. Sweden is rushing out of the town now, trying to capitalize on this nice, beautiful flank they've made. Oh, Russia needs to pull back from this. Like, really, really pull back. Sweden looking to be counterattacking here. Gotta watch out for that flanking Russian regiment, though. He's going for that bayonet charge to save his troops. He's going to pull that line back. Sweden is still pulling back a little bit, maybe trying to lurch forward in the center. Let's see how this flank is developing. Sweden has kind of slowed a little bit. Things are not... They tried to push, I think, as much as they could, but the Russian alliance with Denmark, they managed to pull back and save their lines a little bit, and now it's equal ground. In fact, I think the Russians actually outnumber the Swedish. It's like some Russian counter cav play. Russia has not really been stopped. I mean, on this right flank, they have been slowed down maybe a little bit. Sweden, with more support, maybe taking back some of this grove. More cavalry charging in over here. Looks like some dragoons and line infantry. So the Swedish center is still definitely in danger. They have to reinforce this. A lot of troops on the flank. But Sweden pulling back here. That nice flank they had going seems to have kind of died out, so they're going to pull back. I think they have the Swedish coalition, they have too much on this flank and not enough in the center, is what I kind of suspect here. And they got to really be very aggressive. I mean, Russia's trying to throw some troops up to stop or at least slow down that advance. Are these Swedish dragoons or heavy cav? Either way, look at this. Russian troops pretty deep into the lines of Sweden. And Sweden does break. Let's see if more can get themselves into the action here. Artillery from Russia gonna push more center, probably shadowing this flank to try to inflict losses. You can see, though, he is pulling back, disengaging a little bit, while still trying to push in. In fact, they have an opportunity here to rush into the town now, as this may be a weak point in the Swedish line. They look like they massed up for a right flank, and they may not have a lot. Their center looks very, very weak still. Really strong on the flanks, very weak in the center. And that is definitely where the Russians are very strong. I mean, they do have a strong flank here. But I suspect we're going to see some action in the town pretty quickly here. These skirmishers are definitely going to get caught up probably by some Swedish cavalry. Oh, I like these guys' uniforms. There we go. Russia going in for the town. Square gets formed, and Russia's going to go into that square. We're going to push in again. This is try 2, some grenadiers from Kaminsky. Oh, coordinated assault. Look at this. Multiple units going in. Even Denmark sending in cavalry does hit a square. Still, though, they are smacking through here, ignoring this flank as best they can, while the main bulk of the army will go in for the town itself. If they can get enough of a morale shock to the Swedish line, they will take this house a lot quicker. That's what they're trying to do. Sweden, though, getting some nice flanking volleys here. Breaking those musketeers. I'm assuming the grenadiers are the ones in the house. Yep. There. Oh, no. That's a beautiful volley. This has got to be some of the better quality. Uh-oh. What? Oh no, Buxhouden's fallen. Looks like maybe artillery knocking him down. Down for the count. It's a huge loss. Still, even with the loss, his men will continue to push forward. Russia is still in the thick of it in this town. A lot of Swedish cavalry kind of caught out. And Russia actually broke that Swedish line. we have a nice cav charge from Sweden. Gonna hit that Russian line. This could be a real problem. Now he's gonna counter with some dragoons. Maybe. I don't think he wants to back charge himself though. Oh my goodness, I've totally ignored this duel between Moore and some of Buxhouden's corps. Artillery though really evening the odds, I think. Another general's died? Who's this? Who's Watson playing? The Kaminsky. Oh my goodness. Too many generals for the Russians have fallen. This is going to be a bit of a... Oh. Hold that thought here. We have a nice counter charge. Russia going in. Look at this. Going for the flank while they hold the center. They start wrapping around. So basically, I know I'm trying to keep the camera from... They wait for the town. Sweden went to engage them. They swung out of the town in this direction, are just smashing into the Swedish flank while holding the line. Although, like I said, they have taken some losses here. Over here, Sweden looks to be counterattacking Minsky's corps, and he's taking some damage. Denmark on the flank still, though. And Sweden is just getting thrown back. Troops routing everywhere. Look at that, another Russian bayonet charge. Yeah, this is becoming very messy for Sweden. They gotta reestablish some control. Unfortunately, cavalry would be really, really nice right now, but I don't think either side had a lot of cav to begin with. There we go, a back charge here. Russia just keeps throwing themselves into the gaps formed in the Swedish lines, and it's becoming a disastrous repeat loss here for this coalition. The Swedish coalition. Now in the town, does like Sweden's actually managed to regain control here. Kaminsky's corps very weak at this point, having lost their general and a lot of their men. Denmark is going to just be holding as best they can on this flank. The Swedish are very strong still in the town in comparison to over here, where it does look like things are starting to roll back. Look at this, getting flanking shots on this Swedish line, which is very large, while the bayonet's going in. Oh, man. Oh, Russia gets a back charge in with some Gusarians. That could be the final nail in the coffin of this force. We have some artillery setting up. Canister. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's going to break. They're dead. The other unit should get there, but still, what a... My gosh. Oh, Moore's actually still holding off with artillery, but the main line for Sweden is broken over here. Moore kind of has the bulk of the infantry left. And unfortunately, actually, for the Russians, this artillery from Sweden and the UK are still very much in the fight. That's going to be a very difficult problem for this Russian force. Another... Alright, Russia, what you guys doing? Why are your generals all dying? This is the 8-pointer now. Oh, is this general versus general? Okay, well, that's fitting. That's a fitting end. One general versus the other. That is how a general fights, with his men. It does look like we may actually have some C4s now charging in. See if they can break a Swedish general.
We have killed their general, sir.
There it is. Because we have some Russian skirmishers, infantry, and artillery set up. Kind of counter this. It's like also some line infantry going for these Swedish guns. They're wavering. At least they got them off the guns. Still, that may have given them the gap they needed to be able to send them. They have cavalry over here. They can go for those artillery pieces pretty easily. But this is kind of just one of those last stands. Not a whole lot of strategic significance. This is some significance still, even though it looks to be more of a desperate last stand. The Swedish still have a grip on the town and the surrounding buildings. Russia's gonna have to deal with that at some point. Oh my gosh. Let's see if Sweden can... I mean, they're going to lose those guns, unfortunately. See if he can manage to get the artillery piece. Maybe even the Russian artillery piece. Or even the UK's artillery piece. They're wavering too, though. There we go. They may still break. But here we go. Here we go. Cavalry going to charge in here. Should finally break those artillery pieces. And I think that's about it. Oh, look, there's a Swedish cav unit back here. Some Swedish infantry as well. What a fight, though. Bit of a back and forth in the very beginning. Sweden is abandoning the town. You gotta keep in mind, guys, this isn't just about fighting. It's about keeping the most LOC points. And with this new map, the roads, you have to have these connect in order to keep them. So, I see the Russians have this 3-pointer, which means they can connect this one.
We have taken a building, sir.
If they take this 2-pointer, they disconnect all these points that, you know, Sweden could have. Or if they take this or this one, they discredit these, and they have this one as well. So far, they have the most points, so the NR.4 will still win by LOC victory, even if Sweden manages to hold on to these two sections of the town, even if they just rush way down here, if Russia does, and takes this one, and this other one right here, they will obsolete any points that the Swedish have. Probably why Sweden is pushing towards those at this point, to ensure their strategic victory or potential. I'm fast forwarding a little bit just because it does look like we have just... Oh. Alright, we have some Sweden very much getting into it.
Our men are running.
It looks like the coalition is going to try to reunite and take this area. Will that be enough points, though? If they take this one, and this one, that's 4, 5, 6 versus 6, 7, 8, 9. Nah, they have to. I mean, what's the point of holding these if that's all that happens? Yeah. If that's all that happens and everybody else can bottleneck them. Now, I do see some Swedish troops pushing here, which is why they are pushing, Denmark and Russia are pushing troops over in this direction to secure their 3 points and then their other points as well. But yeah, I don't think, I suspect there may not be a whole lot of engagement. Now, maybe Russia's going to push in for this area in the town, but I suspect there may not be a whole lot of fighting until after this is over. It does show though that it is a. Well, I'm not gonna spoil stuff. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, just a little fighting, I guess. Still. Look at Russia pushing up their artillery and canister them in the courtyard or in the town center. Very nasty business. I should still fast forward here. Now, there was definitely a pretty, for the most part, I mean, Russia had more troops. The Russian side had a little more troops. I mean, one of the armies had about was 1,800, 2,000, and then 12 and 12 versus 12, 18, 6, and 15. So yeah, the Russians definitely outnumbered the Swedish in this battle. I don't know how much that would have necessarily played into it. The numbers definitely near the end have helped the Russians. Despite having losses inflicted upon them, they still managed to keep it. Now it looks like Kaminsky is going to go in again. These men have rested up. They're fresh, ready to fight. And here we go. Oh, man, that instantly rout. Yeah, Kaminsky's not doing too hot. I don't think I actually did anything. Another LLC is taken. Hoping to get that thingy. I obviously haven't done this in a minute. Don't know where that is, but oh well. Who needs that anyway? We have the final battle here. And it does look like we have more and the rest of the Swedish here pushing up. And we may have the last desperate counterattack to retake some of this initiative. There it is.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, this artillery. Hopefully they can get some nice canister shots off on the Swedish. A little payback. You know, Sweden did some nice, nasty shots at the Russians earlier, so this is only fair. But we will see. Cavalry rushing across as well. Ooh, let's see if they get... Oh, tree, get out of the way. Let's see, let's see. Oh, they're loading anyway. Oh, no. Oh, they're going to try to run the artillery piece away as Russia gets just absolutely counterattacked here. Sweden going for that last-ditch effort, and it may have caught the Russians by surprise. Or at the very least, it's just something the Russians couldn't really stop. Now I'm seeing some Swedish breaking. There's still plenty of, there's still 18 minutes. Oh, man. Oh, they're about to break. They are dropping. Now they pour in several volleys and they bayonet charge the Swedish. Swedish had no time to react to that, and they break. That was well done by Russia. Man, that dropped so many Swedish. Look at that. Whew. That's the kind of thing you would see in a movie. Pouring a blistering volley and then just give them the cold steel. And just like that, it kind of calms down a little bit more again. Is the artillery crew back? Did they make it back? I believe artillery sitting right here. Horse artillery, are they going to get themselves out of there, I'm assuming? This artillery piece is going to be a problem still for Sweden. They could even start canistering, I think, these buildings and probably get some nice shots off on them. Or just shoot point blank with a round shot. Oh, the artillery crew did come back. Oh my gosh. They got a ring of artillery fire around them. The nasty business.
Must rest a while.
You see they're starting to take all the LOC points. Unfortunately, that's kind of the nail in the coffin of a loss here. Surprised they're not firing into this LOC. There we go. Oh, this is gonna start hurting. Oh my, the officer's all that's left. Dang, man. You can see they are starting to suffer from the canister there. Are they even hitting? I saw troops dropping. Let's see the perspective from these guys. This canister tearing through. Oh yeah, that is killing, guys. They keep that up and they're going to kill any Swedish men in this room. See, every shot kills a guy. Can't imagine they would survive very long. Their morale would not survive. It's for all the artillery enthusiasts, honestly, at this point. That canister is just going through the house, I think, and actually killing troops on the other side. Here we go. Sweden's getting charged again. They take it. They finally take it. I think that is it. for this battle. Like I said, there's 1 or 2 units left, but I may just fast forward or skip to the end. It looks like it's going to be it may not be a death match. It may be, who knows. Victory for the NR4 against the Rhienbund clan. But well played to both, because like I said, I mean, looking at the results, guys, it was a bloody battle. Both sides dished out quite a lot of damage to the other. But if nothing else really changes, I'm just going to skip to the end so we can see the results of this battle. All right, guys. So here are the results. A victory for the Russians. You have on the Russian side for the NR4, you have the Duke Bob Ross. He got 963 for the kills, playing as the 8-pointer. You have Matt Bob playing as Buxhowden, 10-pointer with 1326 for the kills. You have Tharash with 631 as Denmark. Watson, he was the 6-pointer, and he got 521 for the kills. And then, of course, on the other side, you have Imrezer. He was the 7-point Sweden with 694. You have Kaj with 1393. I believe he was playing the 8-pointer. You have Andre as the 4-point Moore. He got 542. And they have Uzo 706 playing as the 9-point Sweden. So, you know, some good kills. Definitely some good kills. Pretty comparable. Now, obviously, you can see the army sizes that the Russians had, the larger army. And they were able to use it quite well. I think they were able to keep the pressure on the center and defeat any attempts at flanking them, especially across that river near the beginning. That could have been very disastrous for the NR4, but they managed to pull back, notice it in time, and recover. So, well played, both sides. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until the next time, you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and as always, I will catch you all in another video.